of 4 beige walls and a blank ceiling was broadened and brightened by the world outside. Amazing views of a park with a beautiful lake could be seen from the window of their room. Children delightfully played among the ducks and swans. Couples walked arm in arms among colorful flowers. There was always the stunning city skyline. When the man by the window was describing all that was happening outside, his roommate would close his eyes and imagine all the beautiful scenes that were being told to him. One night, the man whose bed was near the window died, and his roommate was very sad. After some time, when the nurse came to visit him, he asked if he could be moved next to the window. The nurse agreed and kindly made the switch. When she left, the man slowly and painfully propped himself up on one elbow and took the first look at the world outside. He was stunned. The window faced a blank wall. When the nurse came to visit him the next time, he told her about the beautiful things outside the window that his roommate had described to him. Surprised, the nurse replied that his roommate was a blind man. What hope do you inspire to those around you? Is it the hope of a real prospect to change? Is it the hope that the bright future we envision for the department will include them? What hope are we inspiring? Today we are gathered in celebration of hope. We are here to appreciate, to encourage, and to inspire hope.
An organization, no matter how well designed, is only as good as the people who live and work in it. Yes, those who have consistently gone beyond the call of duty. Your work is highly appreciated, and that is why we are here gathered today. Could you please stand for the national anthem?
Right, we'll have it led by Ms. Winsome Harris.
All right, and on that note, we say thank you very much. Mrs. Harris will take it from there. Thank you.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil bores. Be your light through countless storms. To our leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. grant us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Go ahead, put your hands together. Wow. A multi-talented lady. I know her to do very well in another department, but now I am learning something new about her. Amen. And we almost missed it. Almost missed it. Thank you. At this time, we will be having our invocation, and I'll be inviting Mr. Andre Harvey, our Director of Documentation. Could you please make him welcome?
I know we just had a seat, but I'm going to ask you to stand at this time as we petition the Lord in prayer. Shall we bow our heads to prayer? Our most holy Heavenly Father, Lord, as we come before you now, we recognize that it's not because of anything good that we have done while we're here. And for this, we thank you for your love and your mercy and your graces towards us. As we come gathered here together as colleagues, as friends, as well-wishers, we recognize that we have an awesome opportunity to praise your name. And as the awardees are presented with their token, we're reminded of the award that will await us when thou comest. Lord, we ask for your guidance and blessings over the proceeding. May it be to your name's honor and glory. And when all is said and done, may we all make it to your kingdom when thou comest. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Charles Schwab, it was who said, I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among men the greatest asset I possess. The way to develop the best that is in a man is by appreciation and encouragement. So at this time, I'm going to be inviting our Deputy Commissioner of Corrections, Dr. Mark Thomas, who will come to present the Commissioner's welcome, overview, and greetings. Please make him welcome.
Thank you very much. Superintendent Martin Dryden, Mr. Gregory Gordon, Master of Ceremonies, Honorable Xavier Main, Minister of State and the Minister of National Security, Shauna Chowers, Chief Technical Director, Ministry of National Security, His Worship the Mayor, Senator Delroy Williams, Lieutenant Colonel Brian Lundy, representing Rear Admiral Antoinette Wimis Gorman, Chief of Defense Staff, Jamaica Defense Force, Ms. Joyce Stone, Deputy Commissioner of Corrections, Custodial Services, Sharon Melwood Moore, representing the Director of Prosecutions, Paul Llewellyn, the Honorable Stedman Fuller, Custos for the Parish of Kingston, Ms. Jacqueline Mendez, Chief Personnel Officer, Office of Service Commission, Dr. Sandra O'Mealy, former Commissioner of Corrections and Director Principal for the Caribbean Regional Drug Law Enforcement Center, awardees and special guests, members of the DCS and MNS teams, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's okay to sit back and relax a little bit. Commissioner Rowe is overseas on duty travel, and therefore I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the Department of Correctional Services Staff Awards and Recognition Ceremony. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we acknowledge our team members who have served us for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and those who have recently retired. Congratulations on achieving this most significant milestone. Put your hands together for everybody. I mentioned this on Monday, but it's worth reiterating that it's simply because of these heroes that we have here today that we are able to achieve our mandate to contribute to national security by securing, supervising, rehabilitating, and reintegrating offenders as productive, law-abiding citizens. So it makes sense, ladies and gentlemen, that we take time out to express our gratitude to each and every awardee here today for their assiduous, dedicated, and diligent work. Your level of devotion has not gone unrecognized, and I encourage you to continue excelling in your God-given talents and hope you'll be inspired today to continue the work that you have already been doing. This function therefore ties in perfectly with the theme for Corrections Week, DCS appreciating, encouraging, and inspiring hope. Minister, we have indeed used the opportunity all week to thank all staff, and make sure to stress to all, who contribute to this 24-hour operated institution. In every presentation, I stress the point that everyone, and I mean everyone, is essential to keep this big ship running smoothly. Throughout this year, we have witnessed many accomplishments, including the completion of the new block at Rio Cobre Juvenile Correctional Center, the continued upgrading of the Richmond Farm Adult Correctional Center, which is near completion, the opening of the Medical Center, which is a very big deal, and the infirmary at Tambourine Farm, the opening of weekly staff clinic, and the opening of a Student of Awards at Metcalfe Street. We have also expanded rehabilitation programs and commenced technological upgrades that will see us better equipped, more accountable, and transparent in our operations. Ladies and gentlemen, that seems like progress. And as we forge towards our vision of becoming the Caribbean Center for Excellence, we remain unyielding on this upward trajectory and as we together celebrated our unique subject matter experts. It was Conrad Hilton who mused that achievement seems to be connected with action. What we find is that successful men and women keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. To the awardees, I encourage you to keep taking action to achieve your goals, and when mistakes are made, keep moving. To everyone else here today, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was Mary Kay Hash who penned these words. Everyone wants to be appreciated. So if you appreciate someone, don't keep it a secret. Today, I'm sure that this function is no secret because I see the media personnel moving around. Thank you very much for being here. And I am sure that it will be advertised far and near. I take this opportunity at this time to invite a musical interlude. Thank you. Oh. We can do a little bit better than that. We can do a little bit better than that. Of course. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous indeed. You know, last year this time I stood at this podium and I had a beautiful lady by my side. She's not here with us today. However, I have a handsome gentleman, you know, by my side. You can put yours together for a co-MC. Indeed, indeed. Not the kind of trade that I would have made, but, you know, I work with what I have, you know, so thank you, thank you. At this time, I will be inviting our Senior Director, Human Resource Management and Administration, Mrs. Althea Davis, to do the introduction of our guest speaker. Could you please make her welcome?
Thank you, sir. I have to don on the spectacles because I have passed a certain age. Good morning, everyone. I acknowledge your presence. I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker this morning, and I read thus. Minister Xavier T. Main was appointed to the Ministry of National Security as a Minister of State on January 11, 2022. He formerly served as Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security for 4 years. His primary responsibilities has been overseeing the restructuring and modernization of the ministry's agencies. Minister Main has been described as a visionary and compassionate leader by members of his Southwest St. Anne constituency, as he works diligently to enhance their socio-economic realities by providing greater access to education, especially during this online age, creation and access to employment opportunities, and general improvements in the standard of their living. He is a graduate of the University of London, where he read for a Bachelor of Law degree and thereafter went on to obtain his certificate in legal education at the Norman Manley Law School in 2008. Minister Main is also the holder of a Bachelor of Science degree in Pure and Food Chemistry. He has occupied a multiplicity of posts in both the private and private sector, serving on boards such as the Trade Board, Jamaica Racing Commission, and Factories Corporation of Jamaica Limited, to name a few. He is a firm believer in charity and self-improvement and believes that the best and the truest form of happiness is that attained through the improvement and advancement of all. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome our Minister, Minister Xavier Main, to the platform.
You can't stop applauding until the man is at the microphone, please. Thank you. You know, he had a puzzled look on his face. I guess he was wondering if he was the person being introduced, but nonetheless, here he is.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremony. I had to ask Ms. Davis if she's certain she was talking about me because some of these things is the first I've heard it. But while I sat there, I said to Deputy Commissioner Dr. Thomas that, boy, you know, that man in that red bow tie looks familiar. Where do I know him from again? And Dr. Thomas was, you know, with no doubt, he was certainly, Mr. Dryden, able to remind me that, oh, Mr. Main, you may have known him from elsewhere within the DCS. But today, he's our master of ceremony. I commend you, sir. Good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here with you to address you at this, your annual awards and recognition ceremony. It is my first time since I only became a part of this ministry earlier this year. But certainly I did not expect this sort of turnout. So clearly, this is an occasion that is well received by staff members within the DCF. And I want to commend the organizers because clearly you would have recognized how important it is to have an event of this occasion. And it is titled your annual awards, which seem to suggest that it has been continuing even well before my time. And I want to commend you. But outside of that, it certainly gives me a pleasure to join in the celebration, in the recognition of those who have given exceptional service to the DCS. On this special occasion, we champion the achievements and signal our appreciation for those who would have dedicated 10, 20, 30, 40. And I'm told now by Dr. Thomas, retirees being with the DCS. Now, it is really an occasion, ladies and gentlemen, for us to certainly pause and reflect on the exceptional sacrifice that our awardees would have made. I mean, when you are with an organization for 40 years, you, Mrs. Moore, I'm sure you're not with the DPP for so long. But to be with an organization, ladies and gentlemen, for 40 years. I mean, most of you, when you join the service, the DCS, you join for varying reasons. For some of you, it was really a stepping stone. You wanted to achieve certain things, so you come in the DCS and see if you can get there. For some of you, you probably never had anything to do. And you say, boy, you know, let me go join them now and see what come of it. For some of you, however, it would have been out of mere love that you said, boy, this is the organization that I want to be a part of. But when you would have gone through a period of 10, 20, 30, 40, retirement, then it can only be one thing. It can only be an appreciation of what you do. Some people said, I remember one person saying to me in the past that when you serve an organization, after a certain point, you know, it's no longer about the income, but the outcome. So when you have gone through the period of 10, 20, 30, 40 years up to retirement, it says to me that here we are dealing with persons who are interested with outcomes rather than the income. And them always say government not pay enough. So for more than one reason, I know that it can't be about the income, but rather it is about the pride, the outcomes, you know, the results that you see, how you view your job, and the value you place on what you do. So I congratulate you, each and every one of you, for your outstanding performance over the years and the indelible and unwavering contributions you would have made to making Jamaica safer. Every role, every task you undertake provides support to the correctional service, and thus each is critical to Jamaica's national security. And I say this because guess what? The work of a correctional officer is not easy, you know. Many persons looking from outside in believe that it is an easy work. But I will tell you, because though I have never served as a correctional officer, I am here with responsibility for the department. And what I know is that where the courts would have done its duty, the police certainly would have done its duty. So a man commits an infraction. He's investigated, he's charged, and he's brought through the process. And a court who is bound to do justice does justice, and that person is found guilty. That is where you come in. Of course, there are other instances where that may shift outside of that. But who comes to you? You have no control over who comes to you. A man is found guilty of committing 10 murders. You have to hug him up. 10 firearms, 10 AK-47, whatever it is, when the court pronounce an appropriate sentence, they come to you are responsible for safeguarding and supervising those individuals. How could that be easy? And guess what? The role of corrections management undergirds the security apparatus of this country. So if you are not doing your duty, if you are not performing according to the oath and to the training that you would have undergone, you would have failed the police, who in many instances would have gone beyond the extra mile in executing and discharging their duties. The court system, who has a particular role to ensure that justice is served, balancing the rights of anybody who is accused and also the victim who has suffered. But most importantly, the court has a duty to protect society from individuals who, by virtue of their conduct, have demonstrated that they are a risk to society at large. And if you, as correctional officers, are not performing your duties, then certainly you would have been failing all the other organs within the national security and the justice system. So, we come today to celebrate those who would have served exceptionally within the department. Not only in terms of their tenure, since some would have from the age of enlistment until, and they are now at retirement, 40, 30, 20, etc. And this year, we are guided by the theme, appreciating, encouraging, and inspiring hope. This minister wants to be the first to say to all correctional officers that we are appreciative. The government of Jamaica is appreciative of your hard work, your dedication towards the supervision, safeguarding, and rehabilitation of inmates and wards especially. And unlike any other job that may come to mind, the clientele with whom we work can be quite tough. And as I said, you really have no say in your clientele. Because as long as a court finds a man guilty, whatever the crime is, they really come to you. Whether it is mass murder, mass possession of ammunition, firearms, whatever it is, they come to you. So, by virtue of your own profession, your task carries an inherent risk. Because you don't know sometimes who you're dealing with. And when your good wife, for those gentlemen, and for the ladies, your husband, your good husband, send you off to work in the mornings, they don't know if you're going to come home, because you don't know who you are dealing. Maybe a serial killer, mass murderer, a gunslinger. But you, by virtue of your calling and the commitment and your desire to serve, has said, listen, this is what I want to do for my country. This is the role that I want to play in the national security architecture. How can we underestimate that? The mere fact that you would have taken the decision is worthy of commendation. And for that, I want to say, we are very well appreciative. But guess what? It is important for us to encourage each other to remain steadfast in our mandates. Far too long, we have been hearing stories of too many of our colleagues being caught in the crossfires of professional misconduct. And so we encourage you to remain not just awardees here today, but I talk specifically to the awardees because outside of getting the award, you have a responsibility to set that particular foundation for those who are to follow you. So we want to encourage you to remain on the straight and narrow path as we move towards becoming a benchmark for excellence among other Caribbean countries in matters of national security, especially in the domain of corrections. Our efforts have positioned us on an upward trajectory of accomplishing more rewarding goals, and this profession which we have chosen is very honorable, and we must continue to execute our jobs with alacrity, respect, dignity, and honor. And I want to encourage you, correctional officers. I mean, for those of you who are at the point of retirement, you're really on your way out. But 10 going to 20, 20 going to 30, 30 going to 40, and 40 up to onwards. I really want to encourage you because when I just joined the ministry, I remember one correctional officer, he saw me in Clarendon. I never even knew him, but he walked up and he said, I know you have just joined the ministry, and I want to say to you that, boss, I am almost at the point of retirement. And I think he was a corporal, my mind. And he said, boss, me not like how things move because I am at the rank of a corporal and I believe I am deserving of a promotion. And I don't know if they're going to wait until I am just about to retire. They will give me something so that I can get a pension that is better than that of retiring at a corporal. Now, you know, I gave him a somewhat of a diplomatic response. But if DCS is going to be an organization that is built on trust and confidence, and when we recruit men and women who come here, who are determined on the basis of hard work, dedication, and commitment, we have to satisfy them that as long as you put in hard work, then there's a commensurate elevation within the ranks of the correctional service. So I want to encourage everybody, not just those who are being awarded today, but to say to you that a promotions policy has finally been signed off on, and it's now in effect. So those of you who join this organization, giving on the premise of your hard work, on your dedication, on your commitment, that is the basis on which you will rise to the ranks of this organization. No longer is it at the whims and fancies of a senior officer who, if him don't like you, dog name your supper. We're changing that. Hard work must be met with requisite elevation through the service. So we want to say to you, as I encourage you, in keeping with your team, in keeping with your team, we are encouraging you today that hard-working officers, we want to give you hope. We want to encourage you in the execution of your duties. That hard work, dedication, and commitment will be matched by the requisite elevation within the service. But one of the things I recognize, ladies and gentlemen, is that where we are now, looking at the history of the DCS and the merger that would have taken place from in the 1970s, the time has come for us to really develop ourselves into a modern and professional correctional services. And if we're all honest, within ourselves, it's something that we can admit. And as such, the government has certainly taken on and the thrust, an overall thrust, to transform the Department of Correctional Services into a modern facility, a modern professional correctional service. No longer an officer, CO1, who may have joined at the age of 18, is going to say, boy, I hope that they find favor, and then we're going to send me go do a little training where we can upskill and we can develop myself. As part of the overall thrust of this government to transform the DCS into a modern professional organization, continuous training and development will be a standard feature of the organization once an officer is enrolled or enlisted with the department. This is what is going to make our officers cutting edge and to make them competitive wherever you go in the world. And we don't want our officers to leave, because training and development comes at a cost. So we want to know that when we invest, when we train, when we develop, our officers remain here. But the transfer of talent and skills, migration, is a necessary phenomenon. But some of persons, when they leave, we want to make sure that wherever they go, they can fit into any system, correctional system that exists. And the transformation is important, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the reasons why the transformation is important. Because I don't know how many of you would have been following the happenings of national security, generally and broadly. But there's a new firearms bill that has traversed the legislative process. It went through the lower house, it went through the upper house, and the bill is going through the final legislative changes, whereby anybody who is caught with a firearm, mandatory life, is life imprisonment. A man becomes eligible for parole after 15 years. And of course, parole is at the discretion, the evaluation of a parole board. What this is telling you, persons will be spending longer times within our correctional facilities. You will have more work to do, more people to deal with. And as such, it is government's responsibility that in keeping with the changing times, you are equipped to deal with the changes that are ahead. The training is important. Development is important. And this government, because the shot of them are going wicked out there, You don't know that too. The government has to respond. And we want to send the clearest message that gun crime is a zero tolerance thing where law enforcement is concerned. And if you want to handle gun, it's your business. Be prepared for deal with the life sentence that is coming for you. Because when the police would have done their jobs, when the justice system would have done their jobs, you're going to get a life sentence. And you as Department of Correctional Service, your duty is to safeguard and supervise those who are brought within your care and control. So the Ministry of National Security, we recognize that our ultimate goal is aligned with Vision 2030, which serves to strengthen our nation's broader borders by aiding to make Jamaica the ideal place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business, all while improving the delivery of quality service to the Jamaican people. And you see, sometimes people from the outside looking in, they don't understand what your role as a department is about. Of course, you have your role to supervise and safeguard, and you make sure that they have shelter, their nutrition is right, and if there's medical condition, after you ensure that the medical needs of inmates are dealt with. But you discharge a duty of care. You discharge a duty of care that on one side, you ensure that those who come within the walls of the correctional system, you give them an opportunity to rehabilitate, to recognize that they have gone down the path that is not good for them, and more so society, the public at large. And you would have exposed them to the various programs that would make them a better man and woman. And when they leave the walls of the correctional system, they could return to society as productive man and woman and fit within the broader society at large. And sometimes I hear people talk and they say, boy, you know, nothing now go on in the correctional system because we not do nothing to rehabilitate offenders. They do not know that every person that walks through the door, he has a say in whether or not they participate in the programs that are geared to rehabilitate them. How then can you blame the correctional department if convicts have a say in whether they participate in rehabilitation program? I personally do not believe that convicts should have a say in their participation in rehabilitation program. They have certainly fallen out of line, and as such, the system, management, must be able to examine these individuals psychologically, psychiatrically, and considering other antecedents, and design a program of rehabilitation that is most fittingly appropriate. So when a man come here and him rest and him sleep 24/7, and all him do when the time run off, a cowboy lunchtime or whatever they call it, and him go back out and him commit a crime and him come back here, people say DCS not working. And that's how it go. People have to recognize that while we discharge our duties, and we are discharging our duties in a certain way, The courts also must consider whether or not, as part of sentencing, they need to order that convicts participate in rehabilitation programs. It is only after all persons who come through the walls of our correctional system are mandated to participate in the rehabilitation programs. And there are some very good programs that are administered by the DCS. It is only then that a fair assessment can be made of what we do here. So I'm saying to you that recidivism, as much as we give our maximum attention and effort to ensure that offenders are rehabilitated and we bring them through a process of reintegration, it is only when we ensure that everybody that comes through our walls are mandated to participate in rehabilitation programs. It is only then that we can give a fair assessment as to the efficacy and the efficiency of the programs that are done by the DCS. What is good for us is that the testimonials speak for themselves. There are many persons who would have benefited, would have taken the decision, would have taken the chance to participate in rehabilitation. And having gone through the process of the program, having been supported when they leave, and to assist them in integrating, reintegrating with the wider society, they come back and say thanks. I have absolutely no doubt that the rehabilitation and the reintegration programs of the department work. Because the people who have participated, the people who have benefited, have expressed gratitude, and we are seeing how lives have been changed. So we can't continue to knock on the DCS that things not. We have our challenges, of course. We have our challenges. But those who have benefited from the program are showing the progress. They are communicating, they are giving their testimonials. And for that, we are very grateful. The ministry recognizes that new and modern technologies are also a driving force for the transformation of the department. And so we are making every effort to transform the spaces within which our correctional officers have to work, in a bid to further curb the prevalence of unlawful conduct among some of our officers. And I say this to you. I'm not fooling myself. If you want to fool yourself, it is a matter for you. I am not fooling myself. Because when a man enters through the walls of our correctional system, these persons are properly checked. They are searched. A very detailed search is conducted. And if everybody that walks through the walls of the correctional system is properly checked, how then 2 weeks later, a month later, when you go in a man's cell, you find ganja and you find cell phone? Where is that coming from? How did it get there? I can't fool myself. There are officers among us who have fallen short of the standard of conduct that is expected of them. Why should the good suffer for the bad? We know, we have found it. We find when the searches are conducted, we find the ganja, the drugs. We find the prohibited items, the cell phones. How did it get there? You tell me. Because some of you are the ones who are conducting the searches. The good must no longer suffer for the bad within the correctional service. And I say this because the time has come, ladies and gentlemen, for us to, in a serious way, to examine the institutional arrangement within the Department of Correctional Services. We have gotten impatient of rogue officers who have fallen short of the standard that is expected of them, who has fallen short of the training that has been given to them. And the good continues to suffer for the bad, because everywhere you turn, boy, you hear say one particular person said to me yesterday, boy, one man in custody still influence what are going on in my area, my constituency. How him get access to phone if when he comes in, he's been searched, he's been thoroughly searched to ensure that he is a sterile person going into what is quote unquote to be a sterile environment. So the time has come, ladies and gentlemen, for us in a real way. We have to examine the institutional arrangement. But those of us who continue to fail us, we have to separate ourselves from them. Make no bones about it. Because when the justice system does its work, when police officers does their work, and they come here and we facilitate criminals for them to operate the same way as if when they are out there on the streets, we are failing the public at large. We can't allow for that to happen much longer. So I'm saying to you that the time has come for us to make a determination. Good must no longer suffer for the bad. And those who are bad, we need to separate ourselves from them. That is where we are. So, I'm going to wrap up now. I'm going to wrap up now, yes. But I say to you, awardees, correctional officers, I remind you that I know your job is not easy, you know. But I want you to stick to the training and the calling. Remain undaunted by the challenges that you will experience. And guess what? These will become more frequent and more severe the further along the journey you progress. I encourage you to, once more, I encourage you to continue giving your unwavering support in putting our hearts and hands together to transform, to steer this transformative ship of great potential. With all hands on deck, I am confident that we will win the fight against the raging storm known as crime and violence. A very important role you play, because crime and violence doesn't begin and end with the police or the courts, who have a role to play to ensure that, and I call them, they provide what is called a balancing act. Justice, balancing the rights of the accused on one hand and balancing the rights of the victim on one hand, and to ensure that the public, society at large, is protected from individuals who, by virtue of their conduct, demonstrably are harm to society. You have a role to play. So I want to thank you for your contribution to national security. I look forward to your continued support in the fight against crime as we continue to foster an environment for all Jamaicans to live good. Dr. Thomas, Commissioner, is not here, but you stand in his, you're in his seat today. I want to congratulate you and the team. We raise our hats to you for always displaying enthusiasm in encouraging the spirit of togetherness and camaraderie within the department. To those who will receive awards today, thank you for your dedicated service to the ministry and by extension, the government of Jamaica. Your award is well deserved. Congratulations. Yes. Congratulations and well done. I hope you enjoy the rest of today's proceedings.
Thank you very much, Minister. If you think it was good preaching, put your hands together again. Good preaching indeed. I guess I can go ahead and collect the offering now. All right, thank you very much. Allow me to recognize the presence of Shauna Towers, Chief Technical Director in the Ministry of National Security. Welcome, ma'am. We do appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Again, thank you for those words. I am sure they have been well received. And if I be so bold as to sum it up, it is that encouragement sweetens labor. Amen? I hope I haven't been too narrow in my takeaway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us again put our hands together to show our appreciation. So the late Maya Angelou once said, well-renowned words, is that people will forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So let's keep encouraging each other. Amen? All right, at this time I'm going to invite our awardees to stand. Been sitting for a while, but I invite you to stand just for a moment, just for a moment as I invite Mr. Monzine Sutherland to come and serenade our awardees. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking lovely. You may be seated. Yes, and if you are wondering why Mr. Sutherland's face looks familiar, it's because he's the winner, the 2022 winner of the Digicel Rising Stars.
Good morning, everyone. Yes. So, before I start, I'd like to say congratulations to all the awardees tonight. Well, sorry, today. Yes. Are we good? You sure? Okay. Good now? Okay. Let me stay, baby. Your love struck me down lightning, thunder in my soul, baby. My heart beats for you only. Every word is true. I'm in love with you. Take you as you are, lady. You ain't gotta change for me. each day, baby, please. Hold me until we die together. Hold me until we die. Weather together the storms of life. There won't always be sunshine. Baby, we're blends of imperfection. Give me your heart and soul. Love me like you've never loved before. And beautiful morning dew, I'll be the shoulder to cry on. My love grows stronger each day, baby. Please don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. My love grows stronger. Don't hurt me because you know I'll forgive. So if you know this song, I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And I want to spend my life with you. It's ain't since, baby, since we've been together. Oh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to, and I'll never be untrue. Hey, baby, let's stay together. Oh, loving you whether times are good or bad, or happy or sad. No, 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 together, baby. Oh, you whether times are good or bad, or happy or sad. It's not a lie. Ooh, loving you whether girl, times are good or bad, or happy or sad. So, but can you get up and dance to that one? Skanking, grooving. So we're not dance. So we're not dancing today. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. So we're not dancing today. Nobody's dancing. So man, I have to stand up, man. Yeah, man. On it. Youngin', grooving, hallelujah. Yes, youngin', grooving. Well, under the pressures of life, it's up. Now stay at home, mama time, pick it up. Now bother with it down, full style, strictly up, full vibe. And pick it up when the bills, them, the rent and the mortgage due. Yes, with my chalice, so when your best friends are gone and it's only you. Oh, skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel irate. Forget your troubles and you rock with me. You know, feel reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel irate. Forget your troubles and you rock with me. You know, feel reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. Skanking. We skanking till the morning come, till the morning, until the day when my troubles are gone. Hallelujah, we're grooving in a time. Whoa, 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 no. We're grooving all our troubles away. Skanking, every feel like. We're gonna be skanking, we're gonna be skanking sweet. I'm gonna be skanking, skanking sweet. Everybody wanna be like, forget to do with me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dancing sweet, but I didn't see a whole lot of dancing. So pull it up, select. No, don't pull it up. Don't pull it up. Don't pull it up at all, at all, at all. All right, allow me to recognize and welcome our Deputy Commissioner Custodial Services, Ms. Joyce Stone. Welcome, madam. Welcome. Nice to have you today with us.
I was almost certain you were going to dance, and I would have followed. Had you done it, I would have followed. But you didn't, so we'll leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
All right. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, our special awardees, this is the moment they have been waiting for. This is the moment we have been waiting for. So at this time, I'm going to invite Mrs. Patricia Alcott, Senior Director, HRM and Development, and Lieutenant Colonel Brian Lundley, as they prepare to award our 10-year recipients. Mrs. Alcott and Lieutenant Colonel Lundley. Please make your way. As they come, I also ask that Mr. Andre Ardi, Director, Documentation, Information and Access Services, and Ms. Sansia Jones, Rehabilitation Manager, and Mrs. Jacqueline Mendez prepare themselves to continue the names.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good time so far, and I hope you're enjoying yourself at this awards ceremony. I am going to just extend our congratulations to those persons who will be receiving awards. And I will now be calling the names of the probation officers and the correctional officers who will be receiving awards for 10 years of service to the department. And I'm going to ask you, can you just put your hands together for them right now? I think they deserve a round of applause. Here begins. Loy Harris. Donahue Ashman. Windy Black. You can cheer them on, cheer them on, cheer them on. And Windy will be followed by Ainsworth Brown. followed by Eleanor Campbell. Then we will have Talika Campbell. She will be followed by Millicent Christie. Ascending the stairs thereafter will be Darren Cole. And he will be followed by Vincent Cole and then Vishal Kandapa. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ricardo da Costa. And he will be followed by Nicola Davis. Bruce Dennis. Romaine Dunkley, followed by Orlando Foster. Followed by Ricardo Francis. Ricardo Francis.
Walk up. 65 is Sheldon Omar. Okay.
All right, so now, Mr. Heidi. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carolee Lawson. Lusan, no? My apologies. Carolee Gail Pinnock. She'll be followed by Nordell Henry. Romaine Hibbert, who will be followed by Sophia Evans. Jody Anne Marie Brown. Sophia Evans. Sherilyn Grant. Give it up for Sherilyn Grant. Frederick Hodges. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give it a round of applause for Sheldon Lynch, who will be followed by Dr. Hilary Marsh. Dr. Hilary Marsh, who will be followed by Patricia McCrae. Ms. McCrae will be followed by Cadian Pennant. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Mr. Adrian McLean, who will be followed by Richard McGee. We'll be welcoming Karen Miller, who will be preceded by O'Neill Moore. Next, we will have Rachel Lee Graham, who will be followed by Kemar Reed. Please give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our awardees.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Hardy. At this time, I'm inviting Ms. Sansia Jones to continue. And Mrs. Jacqueline Mendez.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And let me congratulate all the awardees. Kenil Andre, Kenil Shakespeare, Yvonne Malcolm, Jason Simmons, Nicardo Smith, followed by O'Neill Stewart. Fabian Tate, Kamoy Tavares, O'Neill Stewart, followed by Fabian Tate. Kamoy Tavares, Joseph Taylor, followed by Audrey Thomas. Joanne Thomas, Donovan Thompson, Audley Vernon, Peter Gay Walker Thompson, Georgette Walker Cotton, Nicola Wheatle James, Valen Wright.
Thank you very much, Madam, for assisting us. Thank you. Good, good. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And we have persons in the 20-year category, and we will be making them welcome. So at this time, I will be inviting Ms. Avadon Roberts, Chief Probation Aftercare Officer, and she will be calling those names. And I also invite Ms. Sharon Millwood Moore, representing the Director of Public Prosecution, Ms. Paula Llewellyn, to assist us in handing out these awards. Please make her welcome.
Good morning, colleagues. Welcome to our 20-year recipients. Our first recipient, Najri Claudia Allison. And she is followed by Janet Elizabeth Atkinson Cruikshank. Jason Anthony Anderson. Gregory Richard Anthony Baker. Come on, Jason. Noel Antonio Beckford. Barbara Angela Blackstock. Devon Lee Blake. Devon is followed by Janice Vivienne Brooks Stewart. Gregory Richard Anthony Baker. Christopher Mark Brown. Kamal Credence Brown. Nadria Kareen Brown. Ricardo Brown. Marlene Diana Burnett. Winston Everett Taylor. I'm sorry, Everett Cato. Lise Devon Lee Blake. Winston Everett Cato. Lisa Collie Evering. Dennis, oh, I'm so sorry. Lisa Collie Evering. Dennis George Ducambre. Andrea Marie Duncan. Joan Rose Fairweather. This is Miss Fairweather. And she's followed by Havelyn, Averlyn, thank you, Yvonne Ferron Grant. And Mark Fitzgerald.
Thank you very much, Ms. Roberts. Thank you very much. At this time, I'll be inviting...
Ladies and gentlemen, she arrived just in time. Help me welcome Karen Maxine Dryden.
Please remain. Please remain. No, man. Please remain.
You want me to stay?
Yes, please. Okay, we detain Mrs. Millwood, and I invite Ms. Leje Martin, Director of Staff College, Acton, to come forward and assist with the calling of the names.
Pleasant good morning. I'll continue with the calling for the 20 years recipients. Orlan Foreman. followed by Ms. Sharon Foster. Paulette Fowler. Following Ms. Paulette Fowler, we have Claude Fraser. Clap Mr. Fraser as he comes. Next, we have Miss Eileen Gardner. Our next 20-year recipient is Miss Lorraine Horton. Let us put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Garfield Henry. Miss Kisha Henry. Followed by Mr. Fitzgerald Hosling. Give him a clap, it's 20 years. Give him a better clap than that, 20 years of service. Next we have Miss Sandra Hilton. Next in line, we have Miss Lorna Lowe. And we now welcome on stage Ms. Natalie Malcolm. Well done, well done. Miss Celine Mantle. Mackenzie's Peters Award will be collected by Kava Peters and Dana Ann Peters. Welcome now, Miss Althea Avery Mitchell. We will welcome at this time Mr. Wayne Anthony Miller. Put your hands together as Miss Ethel Althea Morgan comes to collect her award. Mr. Lord George Murphy's award will be collected by Miss Michelle Hyatt. Put your hands together for Miss Julia Alicia Nemhard.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Madam, for ably assisting us. Wida Pennant, could you please come forward? Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your able assistance. I now invite Ms. Joycelyn Rose Spencer, Superintendent B, to come forward to assist with the name calling. And I invite also Ms. Joy Stone, Deputy Commissioner, Custodial Services, to please assist with handing out these awards. Make them welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me offer my own congratulations to the awardees as we continue in the 20-year category. The next person in this category is Diane Cecile Pattison. Diane will be followed by Anthony Lascelles Ramsey. Next person, Carisha Latoya Reed. Wendy. Lester James Pinnock. Lester will be followed by Howard Remy. Following Mr. Remy is Cheryl Reynolds. Next in this category is Yvonne Marie Richards. Miss Richards will be followed by Rosetta Anne-Marie Roach Edwards. Next in this category, Cynthia Elaine Roper Oliphant. Followed Miss Oliphant. Followed Mrs. Oliphant is Martinizo, no middle name, Scott. Next, Dwayne Everton Shirley. Followed Mr. Shirley is Karian Iona Smichael. Let's welcome next Michelle Hewlett Stubbs. Followed Miss Stubbs, Clive Thomas. Why Mr. Thomas gets such a small clap? Thank you. What am I doing? Next is Miss Icolin Erica Thompson. Followed Miss Thompson, let's welcome Maureen Denise Walton. Followed Miss Walton, Pauline May Williams. One. Okay. We now welcome Miss Yvette Jean Morris. And now we'll welcome Karen Patricia Wright Taylor. Followed Miss Taylor, we have Marlette Bethan White. Woo! And we have Miss Josephine Elizabeth Young. Which number today? Oh, Miss. Followed Miss Young. Followed Miss Young. Miss Cynthia Adela Ruth Laidlaw. All right, go Adela and go everybody in the 20-year category. Congratulations again. Okay, we understand that we have another person, Miss Avis Evadne Walker.
of National Security to join us.
Good afternoon, colleagues and friends. Good afternoon. Dwight McKinley Black. Followed by Marlon Fernando Blake. After Mr. Blake will be James Everall Brown. After Mr. Brown will be Clive McRonald Clark. After Mr. Clark, we have Colin Orville Clark. Clap them, man, clap them, man, clap them, man. 30 years is no chicken. Clap them. After Mr. Colin Clark is David Lloyd Coleman. Mr. Coleman. And after Mr. Coleman, I want you to put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Janet Juanita Davey. Clap her, man. Clap her, clap her. Clap her. Clap her. The big woman in charge of probation aftercare. After Miss Davy, we have Michael James Dick. After Mr. Dick, I want you to put your hands together for Jacqueline May Dunkley Brown, a hard worker in HRM. Clap Jackie, man, clap Jackie, clap Jackie. Clap, Jackie, clap, Jackie. Thank you, thank you. Next we have Meekton Alexander Foster. After Mr. Foster, we have Keith Nicholas Francis. Keith Nicholas Francis. After Mr. Francis, we have Carl Gordon. After Mr. Carl Gordon, we have Award Alfonso Gordon. And after Mr. Gordon, we have Lloydell Alexander Grant. Mr. Grant. This is one of the big men. I won't tell you the alias. This is one of the big men. All right, thank you, CTD. Thank you very much.
Invite Ms. Terry Salmon, a member of the Board of Visitors. She will continue in awarding persons.
Put your hands together for the member of the Board of Visitor, St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center.
Ms. Salmon is also a well-known actress who has been promoting Jamaica in every facet of life. Please make her welcome again, man. Big her up, big her up, big her up.
Continuation of 30 years award, Devon and Tony Green. After Mr. Green, we have Award Bernard Anderson. Mr. Henderson